All right, everybody, welcome to a special episode of D-Suite Nation. We are live here at Benny's Beer Hall in downtown Millington. Finally, the beer hall is open. Ray, glad to see you today.
Good to see you, too. How's it going?
Yeah, how's it going?
How bad did you sully my name the other night when you were in here?
I didn't at all.
Anyway, Ben, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? First things first, I want to ask you this first. The last time I was here last summer, when I came and talked to you for a while, there was a guy working by himself.
Yeah. Yep.
So how about giving like a shout out to him and whoever else put this together, because the last time I was here, you was building it from the ground up.
Yeah, first off, this is Ben Allendorfer, owner of Benny's Beer Hall, hence the name Benny's. Yep. Benny and I have been friends for a long time. Finally opened up his dream bar. Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you.
So why don't you give a plug to everybody involved and everybody's responsible for Benny's?
Yeah,
You gotta get up close, man.
a list of people, but really it's the Morey brothers, Garrett and Derek. They did most of the work. The Height brothers did the drywall. But yeah, the Morey brothers really put a lot into this project. Garrett Morey, especially, he's attention to detail. I mean, if you come in here, you'll see the work that he put in. Spent hours and hours and hours of his time. So yeah, the Morey brothers. Shout out to them.
One of the things that I noticed and liked about this bar when I walked in here just now, it gives me that Arizona feel. I feel like I'm in Arizona because this is what bars where I lived in Peoria.
Yeah.
This is what bars in Arizona look like.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Flint, around them dirty ghetto ass bars where they don't clean nothing in there.
Yeah.
You know, floors always dirty, bathroom always out of order. And it's because they don't want nobody in there. But this makes me feel like I'm in Arizona.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I kind of tell people it has, for us locally, it's kind of like a Royal Oak feel. You know, some of the bars there.
It does got that kind of classic look to it. It really does look like you stepped into a modern German beer hall, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How did Thursday turn out with the lady playing?
Thursday was a little overwhelming. The community poured in here. There was so many people in here. It was a little overwhelming, a little touching. I mean, it was very. It felt good to have the community behind me.
Was it a band? Do they have a name of a band or?
No. So Thursday we had Devin Mitchell. She did a really good job. And then last night we had Chase Wilson, who's from Millington boy. He did a really good job last night. He had a couple friends. We actually had 3 or 4 people playing last night. So I got my money's worth on that one.
Chase Wilson.
Yep.
That sounds like a name of an Ohio State football player. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know. That guy's not welcome.
Chase Young.
Whoever you're thinking.
Chase Young is what I'm thinking.
Young.
Yeah.
All right.
Buckeye.
Well, we're really glad for you to host us, Ben. We're so happy to be here. Congratulations for opening up your bar. What kind of entertainment you got coming up on tap?
Oh, the calendar's pretty full. We're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't have the list right in front of me, but we got people from Detroit all the way up to Bay City. We're rotating Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So come in. It'll be we're quite small, so it'll be stripped down acoustic type music, but it's perfect for the vibe that we have here. So
I want to later in the year. I want to play my saxophone in here.
I was going to ask you when I heard you were trying to play.
I'm a long ways from that. Could be at this time next year, but I want to play a song.
You played a couple notes. I'd have you here
because Dan and I had an agreement that if I were to learn how to play a song, I was going to play it at the podcast. So I might as well play it here instead of the office.
Hell yeah.
We can still record it and post it.
Sounds good.
I don't know about all that recording it and posting it. You got to pay an admission to watch me play the saxophone. But no, Ben. Before you go, man, I just want to say thanks for everything you've done for us, man.
It's been a lot of fun.
Most of all, thanks for putting up with me, because it's not easy. I know it ain't, because I'm not nothing like him, man.
Put up with this guy's a little worse.
But
hey.
But yeah, man, I appreciate what you do for us, brother. I really do, man.
It's really been a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Thanks for coming out and.
Okay, I got my little bouncer over there. Okay, anybody messes with me, she's going to handle my light work right there. Danny.
She's not even paying attention
Danny
right now.
Hutchinson. She knows what she's here for.
All right. Do we got somebody lined up? Or
Yeah, we got. We're going to talk. We thought it'd be a good idea to have some special guests related to the Millington area for the show. So we have Mr. Christian Selich, who is former varsity coach, girls varsity coach at Millington, and current radio personality, 92.1 FM. And then a little later on today, we're going to have Millington's own basketball local legend, Austin LeVan. Cool. So without further ado, we'll let Benny get back to work.
You guys look like brothers, man. You guys brothers?
Do some arranging here.
What's up, Coach?
Oh, loving being here, I tell you that.
All right, with us first, we have Mr. Christian Selich, former...
Selich, yep.
Oh, my gosh,
Yep.
I've been pronouncing it
Yep. I'm sorry, I didn't
this
get
whole
to you.
time.
I didn't get to you beforehand. Think of the Z and then, yeah.
Selich, Christian
Yes.
Selich, I'm sorry.
Let me take a funny shot at Dan here. Dan, I'm only joking I'm joking, but every time he introduces somebody, he screws it up somehow. No, I mean, like just a little pronunciation or
Not every time.
Central Michigan, when people played for the University of Michigan, he announces them from Central Michigan and shit.
No, what it
Dan
is-
does that all the time. They still don't know our partner's name here. He'll fuck his name up later.
Mr. Ryan Riopel.
Hey, there you go. All right,
I
good for
got
you.
it. I got it. No, right. Every time I go to talk about Central High School, Flint Central High School.
Yes.
For some reason, I start saying Central Michigan, and I always screw it up. I always.
Well,
Yeah, but
it's
you
easy.
can't screw that. You can't screw that up. You
Yeah.
can't screw our name
But
up like
Flint
that.
Central's no longer there, so it's easy.
okay.
Well, it's still there. It just ain't open.
True, just not open, yes.
So Christian, I'm going to make sure I get your kind of some highlights of your resume.
Yes.
You were Millington varsity girls basketball coach from about 2016, 2019.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and currently you are one half of the Let's Talk Sports
Correct, yes.
radio show on 92.1
Yes.
FM, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's out of the Tuscola area?
Tuscola area, right in downtown Carroll at the Tuscola County Advertiser Building.
Okay.
Is where 92.1 is located, and also AM 1330.
AM 1330, okay.
That's
Okay,
that's
cool.
92.1's a classic rock station, and 1330 AM is a classic country station.
All right.
Do you ever go to the Carroll Moose Lodge?
I have not been there. I have
Been
not had
there
the
once.
privilege.
When I hear Carroll, that's the first thing I think. That's all I know in Carroll. Now, were you a basketball player when you were young, man?
Yes, I played basketball.
Where you from? First of all, where you from?
I'm from Millington.
Okay.
I moved here in 1979 with
Okay.
my parents from downtown Flint area. My dad was like, time to get out of downtown Flint.
Okay.
And we've been here ever since. I lived in Birch Run for a while. We bought our first house there. But since then, we've been always in Millington and absolutely love it. Cardinal, bleed red and white. So
Okay. Were you a basketball player
yes,
at high school?
Yeah, I played starting in third or fourth grade over because I went to the local parochial school here in town and played all the way up and played a couple years of varsity basketball and learned from one of the best, Archie Robinson, one of
Okay.
the all-time winning coaches in Flint. He'd coached here for a while. And,
I've heard of him.
Yes.
Yep.
And got into basketball coaching, I don't know, probably 15 years ago. I started over in St. Charles where my wife works. And since then, it's kind of been on and off and absolutely love it, though.
Okay. Good.
It's one of those sports that I coach baseball and football as well, but it's one of those sports where I love because when it's bad weather, you're inside.
Yeah.
Where baseball, if it's bad weather, you go inside. Football, you stay through all that crap, and I just,
He's right. He's right about that
Yes.
because, when I was growing up, winters were just for open gym and
Yes.
working out in the gym.
Yep.
And that is one thing good about playing basketball. I wish I could still play, but I had a back surgery that tells me otherwise.
yeah,
But
my knee does that too, especially now when I run with the kids I'm coaching, the 8th grade kids I'm coaching. It gets rough.
the thing about basketball, when we was young, in shape, all that running and all that jumping, in my opinion, I mean, obviously, like track and field would be a different story, but like, baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, man, in my opinion, I think the best way to get in shape is to play basketball. I mean, if you're young and healthy, not
definitely.
old people like us,
Because
but
it's fun and you don't know you're running.
right, all the running up and
Yes.
down, side to side, backwards, all the jumping you're doing,
Yes.
that's just I was in the best shape of my life doing that.
Some good cardio.
Yeah, definitely.
Great cardio, especially when you get your second win, man. Basketball is my favorite sport, first of all. It's my favorite sport, man, and I'd do anything to play again.
Yeah, it's blast being on the sidelines and being with the kids. And one of the things I've always I think I do a nice job at, is we don't run at practice. Like, sit there, okay, we're going to run these blue blacks or killers, whatever you want to call them, suicides. We just run during practice. We have our drills that are full court drills. The kids are running, and they don't know they're running. And that's one of the best ways to get them in condition because they don't know it. Because everyone hates running. I mean, it's not fun. I mean, cross-country people, boy, they're weird. I mean, come on, I respect them, but, man, that's just weird.
You know what? Speaking of running, you know what Jim Harbaugh used to do when he first came to Michigan to coach us, that is? I don't know if he still does this, but in practice, when the offense would play the defense, whoever won the battle that day, the winners get the privilege of running after practice, and the other guys have to sit and watch.
I read that. I love that. I love
his philosophy behind that was you're going to sit and watch because you're going to watch them get better.
Yes.
So that's what he did.
One
of the few good ideas that we'll talk about Jim Harbaugh later on because I know there's some NFL suspicion. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. There's no better test to see if you're an old fucker than to get out and play a pickup game, a full court pickup game of basketball, and see how fast you get winded, and see how fast you start grabbing your knees and hunching over and be like, I need a break. Sub.
I'll stick to the half court offense. Do a lot of cherry picking.
I would do that now. Yeah, great cherry picking.
All right, Christian, you are actually a gold licensed coach through USA Basketball.
Yes.
Tell us that process. Tell us how that came to be and what that means.
USA Basketball is an organization that is huge, helping kids throughout the country, and they want their coaches who know what they're talking about. So had to take some tests and submit some lesson plans to them and how you do things. And it wasn't rigorous, but you just have to be organized, and it's nice just to have that. On your resume as a license, hey, there's this national organization thinks I can do this. So, it's just like any certification that you have, in your professional life, and it's just a nice thing to have. So,
yeah, it's a pretty impressive stamp to have on your resume to say you're a gold licensed coach through USA Basketball. So
that is because they don't just give those away. Yeah,
no.
That's an incredible.
Well done. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Now you took over girls varsity basketball in Millington in 2016.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. You previously coached the JV, right?
I coached the JV girls for the 1 year, and then it's been boys before that, yeah.
Okay. Now, some interesting facts. I don't know if I told Ray this, but shortly after you took over coaching the varsity girls basketball in Millington, you broke a couple records. You got a couple records under your belt, right?
We did right away. It was really nice. Our first ever game, we went up to Vassar, and we held them to 11 points in the game. And it just, everything came together. It was everything that we worked on all summer. It just all collapsed that game. It was absolutely beautiful. Defensively, it was just great. And that ended up being a school record for us, for at least points allowed.
Yeah, 11 points and a 50-point win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we hosted Reese, and it was a team I thought we were going to beat, and they got the end of us. And the girls just got mad, and we went over to Bridgeport 3 nights later, and we scored a school record 81 points.
81 points.
And every single girl on the team, we had 13 girls on the team, had at least 4 points. That was the best thing about it. And the second string played pretty much the whole last 5 minutes of the game, and actually ended up scoring the 81st point. It was really, really special.
Let me ask you this, okay? Let's get back to the 11 point where the team scored 11 points in that game. What was the final score?
61 to 11.
61 to 11. Okay. If you were the head coach of the team that scored 11,
yes,
what goes on next week during practice? I mean, let's pretend you don't really have the talent level. What do you do?
I've been there, and when that happens, it's usually because the other team's pressing and you can't get the ball at the floor.
Okay.
You got to work on breaking the press. And the rough thing is, if your team is bad enough to where you're not scoring like that, it's hard to scrimmage against your second string because they're probably not as good either, so you're not learning anything. So stuff I've done in the past with teams like that, I go out, especially with the girls team, with a girls varsity, I want to go scrimmage the boys JV team because they're going to press like that. And I said, hey, guys, just press us. That's what I want to play against. yeah, we're going to get beat, but the girls are going to get better because that speed's there. So, that's just things you got to get creative like that.
Practice against tougher talent, right?
Yes.
Practice up, right?
Yes.
So in both of those games, both holding a team to 11 points and having a team that goes out and scores 81 points, are those kind of situations where, like, your team's just playing that well where you're not doing much, Coach? They're just in a groove. You don't have to coach much. You just kind of let them do what they're doing because they're doing a certain thing really well.
That's exactly it. You just let them go. You just let them go because I've always had the feeling where you should do most of your coaching at practice.
Yep.
If you're
100%.
if you're coaching at a game, you've probably done something wrong. Very rarely will you ever see me with my board at a game trying to draw a play, unless there's like a play right at the very end of a quarter. Hey, let's try this. We should know it. If you're doing your job at practice, they should know it right away, and you can say it and go. So very rarely will I break off the board, but you just let the girls go when they're in that groove. It's a nice thing.
Yeah, I have a question for Dan. Dan, when you first heard that a team scored 11 points, what was the first thing cross your mind? Because I'll tell you what crossed my mind after you tell me what crossed 11 points.
Well, when you hear that, when you hear about a team scoring 11 points, you think one or two things, right? You think either the team was just really bad, not talented, right?
Obviously.
Or you think that team is really good at defense, right?
Yeah.
So your mind goes one way. I tend to when I saw that at first, I was like, man, they really played a defensive game. They really played well defensively, and they held them down. They locked them down.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said. Now, like always, I'm just going to add a couple things. First thing the coach that came to my mind was everything he said. That team is probably that good, and this other team has scored 11. Now, I mean, let's take Dan. He's a big guy. Ben's a big guy, and whoever's big in here. One of the first things across my mind was I would look at Dan like, God damn, you know how to draw a foul or something? Jesus Christ, man. You're killing me out here, man.
So true. And actually, when you bring Austin on as well, he was involved in a defensive effort where the other team only scored 11 points in his high school career, but they scored a little more points. They actually beat Lakeville 101-11 in a game in Millington.
What was the score?
101-11.
101-11.
We will make sure to ask Austin about that for sure.
I was on the bench for that game, and it was great.
Let me see. I was a part of a game one time like that where I was on the JVs at Flint Central High School. We played Lake Orion before conference play started.
Yep.
And we beat them, I think the score was 121-39.
Oh.
George Miller was on it, and Jason Turner was on it. We had Eric Turner's brother. You heard of Eric Turner.
Yes, exactly.
I graduated with his brother Jason Turner. I played with them guys. But, yeah, I was a part of a game like that one time.
And that's a lot of points in a high school game, let alone for a JV squad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was we were having fun that day. like Dan said, probably not a whole lot of coaching going on Central Park.
Nope, just let them go.
Ryan, working for DTV, you ever witness anything like that? You ever witness a lopsided game like that?
No, not really. I mean, since we do all the varsity games and we don't really see any JV games because we're normally setting up and stuff like that, I've never seen such a lopsided game as extensive as something like freaking 51, 60, 70 point difference and stuff like that.
Now, he's probably seen some football scores that got out of hand, considering Davison won a state title 2 years ago. They were in the championship last year.
Now, if we're going to talk about football, most definitely. We're going to talk about some blowout games real quick.
Oh, that's good stuff. Now, let me tell you this, man. I'm glad that you're a coach because I know you'll understand this. My buddy Brent that lives in Tennessee, his son is kind of getting into sports, and he wanted me to give him some advice about sports. And this is what I told him. I said, even if you're like a kid that doesn't like sports, here's the positives that you get out of playing sports when you're young. It teaches you how to, be on time for everything. You got to be on time for everything, practice and all that stuff. It teaches you how to be a good team player, like you would have to be when you're working, when you're old and working somewhere. Now, when I use the word follower, I meant like listening to your coaches, following what they say. Like if you're coaching us, I'm going to listen to everything you say, and I'm going to try my best to apply it, okay? I'm going to be a good follower. And to me, when you do that year in and year out, like if you're her age, and you play the game the right way, and that playing the game the right way doesn't necessarily mean winning and losing all the time.
No, it does not.
Showing up on time every practice, being an example. I think that'll transcend into your adulthood.
It does.
You know, when you're working or if you own a business, you'll be on time for everything. You'll be disciplined. You'll deal with the public better. Those are the advantages you get out of youth sports. Because I know some kids don't like to play sports, and I understand that.
Understandable.
You know, but what do you think of that?
It helps them tremendously. I think it is the great equalizer in American society. You know, everyone plays. We don't see anything. We're there on a team. We're playing. You learn how. As you said, it teaches you to become a better employee later in life.
Yeah.
It teaches you to be a better student for the kids right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was one of the greatest things for my son. And my youngest son struggled a little bit with school at the beginning. When he joined youth football, he got on this schedule. I get home, I got to do my homework, and then I go right to football practice. And he started to develop those good habits of becoming a good student. And, you know, he ended up being a 4-point student in high school. But
that's awesome.
It's, you know, but he needed that youth sports experience. And, you know, he's an all-state football player, all-state baseball player as well. And
wow.
He, you know, he needed that. And I'm glad he got it. So
all-state in 2 sports.
Yes.
That's like Rick Leach shit right there. Damn.
That's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive stat. So, Christian, tell us about how you got into the radio business, and tell us about the show, and introduce your partner, and tell us about all that.
Yeah, it was 2007, I think it was. I was in between professions. I had just left the hotel industry. I was working in Detroit and Lansing. It was a long drive from Millington, obviously.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, I'm sick and tired of raising the kids by myself. So I'm like, okay. So I was currently working at the local car dealership in Millington before I got hired at the Millington High School where I currently work. And my brother was a writer for the Tuscola County Advertiser, sports writer. And his sports editor did the football games. And he said, hey, why don't you call him? You guys talk all the time about sports. Why don't you be his play-by-play guy? I'm like, okay. Or not play-by-play guy, his color guy. I'm like, cool, I can do that. I talk about sports. I know football. I know basketball. I can do that on the radio. So we got the football season done. He goes, why don't you do basketball with me too? I'm like, well, I can do that as well. I love it. So I did that for 1 year with him, and then he got a job in Ohio and left. And the advertiser hired somebody to replace him at the radio station, a guy from the UP called Derek Bosley. And worked with him for a long time. I think it was after our first year just doing play-by-play stuff, we're like, hey, let's get this sports talk show going again. Because it was a long time up in the thumb. They had it, but it had been off the air for like 6 years. I'm like, let's do this again. I want to do this. Let's do it. So we just started back at it with the whole purpose of just spotlighting athletes in high school. And we've been the longest running continuous one now in the thumb. And we've been doing it since 2009. Derek's no longer with us. Scott Bowlesby is now there with us, along with Chris Wilcox. And it's once a week, and we do an hour and a half of just high school sports in the thumb, and just cover everybody. And we've got kids from all ventures of life in there, cheerleaders who are going the next week to the Super Bowl to cheer at the Super Bowl, cross-country runners, basketball players, football players, coaches, you name it, swimmers, golfers, tennis kids, all throughout the thumb. And it's just been great having them on. Now, we don't have as many kids on now the last year and a half or so because of COVID. So it's more of a call-in, but hopefully starting next year again, we start getting people into the studio. Yeah, which is the best thing to do. But it's been nice just meeting all these kids. We've had so many huge Division I athletes come through the thumb area. Let's see, there's a pitcher from USA, softball pitcher. She went and pitched at Stanford. Raina Frost from Reese, just an incredible girls basketball player. She spent 4 years at Central. I think is the all-time leading rebounder, second all-time leading scorer. Played in Europe for a while. Came back to Central as the director of player personnel for Central's girls basketball team, and now she does the same thing at U of M. So wow. It's just stories like that, and is the thumb area is so rich athletically, and I think we get overlooked at times, but it's been fun, so fun, just being able to spotlight some of those great athletes.
Yeah, that's amazing. You guys do that. Take the time to spotlight some high school athletes that are, doing very well, moving on to greater things, and just getting their names out there and introducing them to people that don't know them.
Yeah, and we, there's a couple other talk shows now in the Thumb, which is great because then that just means more athletes are spotlighted. But one thing we did, probably in 2006, I think was the very first year, the Thumb Sports Writers Association was formed, and that was all the different newspapers in the Thumb got together. Let's have some awards for the Thumb athletes. And then the radio stations joined shortly after, so I've been a member of that since probably 2007 or 8. And we meet once in the fall, once in the winter, and we have an all-Thumb team of football players, all-Thumb team of volleyball players, all-Thumb team of girls basketball, boys basketball players. And we have a coach of the year, team of the year. We have a traveling trophy for everyone. We pay some dues and get individual trophies for individual winners, and it is, once again, another cool thing to do. And you really can't do that anywhere else in the state. We're so unique. We have these 3 big counties of the Thumb, Huron, Tuscola, and Sanilac. And, Huron, Tuscola, Sanilac. It's like, this is perfect because these kids get the recognition that I think that we get missed at a lot statewide. And it's fun. It's fun. The kids really like it as well.
I have one memory in Millington, 96. To give my cousin Tony Ascencio, my buddy Bob Cooper, a little shout out here. We won a red hacker out here. I think it was 96. Remember when the red hacker used to be out here?
Yes, I do.
We played out here one time. I don't know how many times I had here. As a matter of fact, when I was in Millington that weekend, that was the oh man, here comes the city now. That was the first time I'd ever seen I don't know what horse wagon or whatever the hell
the
things
horse,
are called.
the horse-drawn carriage or the
I
buggy
seen
with the
one
horse?
somewhere down there. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And I didn't know that we had, because I wasn't really a big traveling man till about 4 years ago, and I never seen nothing like that in person till I was in Millington. So that's my Millington thing. Now here's Dan will appreciate this also. Today is the first time in a long time, probably a couple years, that we've done a show at the bar, because when we started out doing this show, what was that, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah.
About 2.5 years ago?
Late 2019.
Yeah. We just talked about it like on a Wednesday, and then on Saturday we were at the Davison Hotel, and we just
Daisy Dukes.
kind of experimenting
Sharkies.
like on the job training, because I'm not a broadcast. I don't have a degree in journalism, and he was like the electronics guy, and we had Andre Weathers on the show, and then for probably about 4 or 5 months, we were going to different bars every week. So, and I mean, we have an office now, but this kind of brings back some memories, like when Dan and I first started, because we were going to like coffee shops, or the Deco Deli I'm talking about.
Yeah, we went, mostly bars, but yeah, we did a couple shows at the Hoffman's Deco Deli in downtown Flint, and we, like just Daisy Dukes, Sharkies, Davison Hotel, Cloud Roadhouse.
Cloud Roadhouse, where you didn't pay for Steve's beer, and I got in trouble for it, of course.
I love doing our shows on the road. We do probably 3 or 4 different shows on the road throughout the fall and winter. Couple weeks, there's a powerlifting meet up here in Millington. We're doing our show live from the powerlifting meet. We go to a couple golf courses here and there to if one of the schools are having a fundraiser for golf things, so we'll go to that. And it's fun doing shows on the road. It really is.
Okay, I want to get into some fun questions now. Back in the day, like your teenage years, what was your primary position when you played basketball? Did you play the 5, the 3?
I always thought I was going to be a good forward.
Okay.
Because at the end of my 8th grade year, I was 6'2".
Okay.
And I'm like, goodness gracious, I'm going to be a 6'4", 6'5" guy. It's going to be great. Sure enough, when I graduated from high school, I was 6'2".
You had hit your cap.
Yeah, I'm probably 6'1.5" now. But so I had always been a power forward. Well, as time went on, I had to learn how to be a guard. So it was kind of a swing thing, and I was never a great scorer. I was a rebounder, defensive player. So that was kind of my role. I didn't shoot very well, still can't, but oh well, I don't care. But I played defense and rebounded, and that was kind of what I did.
Okay. Now, you're old enough to qualify for me to ask you this, because I don't think Dan and I have ever talked about this with a guest on the show. Okay. But since you're a coach and you're a basketball person, and, you're from the old school, I think it's appropriate now to, talk about, the Magic and Bird era.
Oh, yes.
Michael Jordan, Bad Boys. Who were some of your favorite players, NBA players back then?
My favorite NBA player, and still to this day, and I love it when clips of him and people talking about him show up on TikTok still today, is Larry Bird.
Larry Bird, Larry Legend.
Something clicked maybe because I wasn't fast like him. I played defense. Obviously, he could shoot. I couldn't shoot, but he was just one of those guys that really clicked with me. It's like, oh, I like this guy. This guy can play some ball because he's not a great athlete. I was never a wonderful athlete. I was a good athlete, not wonderful. But that's kind of like him. It's like, oh, I like this guy. He can do it.
In my lifetime, he was the best player I've ever seen. That's my humble opinion in my lifetime. Because, I say Kareem's the best, but I didn't, in the 70s, and I was born in 77. I didn't see him play in the 70s. So, in my lifetime, Bird was the best player I ever seen. Oh. That 86 Boston team.
Just incredible.
When Bill Walton joined their team.
Yes.
50-1 was their record on the parquet floor, playoffs included, obviously, but that was a dominant team. Dan might have a different opinion.
Yeah, mine was obviously Michael Jordan. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see Kareem play. I saw Bird play for a number of years, but for me, it's always been Michael Jordan. And then second to that, I've always had a deep respect for Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah,
Charles Barkley has always been that guy. He was not a huge forward. He's decent sized, not a humongous forward at that position, but just outworked everybody, rebounded, just complete hustle player. Dennis Rodman was that same kind of player. But yeah, those two guys, man. Michael Jordan, to me, the best.
And I always liked Michael. I respected Michael for his game. Couldn't stand him because the Bad Boys hated him, and I love the Bad Boys. And
I still hate him.
Still to this day,
I still can't stand
I didn't watch the Final Dance.
The Last Dance?
The Last Dance, yeah. I won't watch it. I don't like it. He doesn't like Isaiah. I don't like him.
You guys are two peas in the pod here.
Okay. Listen, I 100% agree with all that, and I'm not going to, because I'll start getting worked up. And I don't want to. Now, let me ask you this, and then I want Dan's opinion afterwards. You take the Magic and Bird era of the 80s, okay? Those guys were the 80s.
Oh, yes.
And then you had, Isaiah's Bad Boys knocking, always knocking on the door. We're going to get there. They were 1-1 against the Showtime Lakers, even though really for me it's 2-0. But
should have been.
Yeah, that's a different story. They overcame Larry Bird. In my opinion, which those Boston teams were the best teams I've seen. And then obviously we know what Michael did after that.
Yes.
So here's my question to you: when people talk about the great teams of let's say the last 40 years, okay? You're going to talk about Larry Celtics, obviously.
Yep.
You're going to talk about Magic's Showtime Lakers,
Yes.
obviously. We get leapfrogged, the Bad Boys. Then they go to talking about Michael Jordan. Why do we get leapfrogged when we was kicking his ass every year?
Because the Bad Boys changed basketball. They put in rules because of the Bad Boys. Because you don't see any of that crap anymore. You don't see any of those hard fouls anymore. If it's a double technical, you're gone. It's an intentional foul, you're gone. It doesn't happen. Actually, to this day, one of the only players I think who could have played in the 80s and early 90s, and current, is LeBron, and that's just because of his body size. I don't think he could have.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have been able to mentally handle the physical beating that you would take, but body size he could have.
I think LeBron would have been a Pippen type, where Pippen got beat up by the Bad Boys,
fails.
right?
Never fucking fails.
Right? And he didn't respond well right away, right? For a number of years, he didn't respond well to the Bad Boys' aggressiveness, toughness, right?
No, because he got a headache.
But at a certain point, Pippen turned it around, and Pippen overcame that, which I would assume LeBron would do too. But I would put LeBron in that category where he would cry a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
About how physical they would be.
Well, he does now, but whatever. The basketball's changed tremendously.
But to kind of chime in on that, I think the Bad Boys get overlooked in those when you talk about the greatest teams, because the Bad Boys did something that wasn't flashy. They didn't like put up a record number of wins in a season or points or anything like that. It was just tough, hard-nosed defensive basketball. They did win back-to-back championships, but I think that's why they get overlooked because, like Ray said, you had the Celtics, the Showtime Lakers, and then you had the Bulls, and then more recently you had the Golden State Warriors with the one season that they had.
Definitely, because you have Bird, one of the top 50 players of all time, Magic, Michael. Isaiah should be on there. Should have been, on that original Dream Team as well, but got pushed back by number 23, and it's a shame because I still think to this day Isaiah Thomas is probably the best player ever under 6'5".
Yeah, I think so. Or like a pound for pound.
Pound for pound. Yeah, definitely.
Somebody was quoted. I think Bob Knight said it. Bob Knight said that if Isaiah was 6'6", he probably would have been the greatest athlete ever in any sport.
I would agree.
Hold on, I can't let him get away with that, Scottie Pippen. I think I know what you're doing now because before we were talking about it, you didn't really know what you're doing. I think now when you say Pippen and LeBron, you're just messing with me now. That's what you're trying to do.
I'm not.
Scottie
I'm not messing with you. I'm just being real.
You are. Yeah, you are.
Just
You ain't being real. Scottie Pippen should be shining Michael Jordan's shoes every day of his life.
Darn right.
Okay? I mean, no.
Say thank you for the ride.
Comparing Pippen to LeBron James is like comparing Bobby Higginson to Ken Griffey Jr. That's how ridiculous you sound. Let's change the subject.
Okay.
Man. I can't. You and that Pippen stuff, man. What's up, man? How you doing?
Who do we got here?
He's smiling.
He's smiling. He's looking at me. You like me? I'm the cool one, ain't I? Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Look at me. Look how big he is. Look like a Millington football player.
You know that little guy, Christian?
So. Yes.
Who is that?
It is Austin LeVan's son.
Oh, Austin.
Oh, that
LeVan's
is?
son.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Look at it. Look.
Now, you said his dad's name. Now he's all happy.
That's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
Hey, do me a favor. Knock him out. Knock him out.
I think he can do it. Oh, look at that.
Knock him out.
He bowled his fist
I got
too.
a lot of money. I'll get Frank Manley to get you out of trouble. Knock this guy out right here. All right. Cute little guy, man.
Yeah, he is.
I like chunky. I just love chunky babies, man.
Yep.
So
My grandkids are like built like this right here, but I love Chunky. He's cool. What a cool guy.
Yes, he is.
So since we're talking about kind of an old school, new school, Christian, I want to get your opinion on something. What do you think about the kind of common matchup where people say, who would win in a series? Let's say the 96 Bulls and the 18 Golden State Warriors?
It's so hard because the game was so different. It's changed so much. Are we going to play by the 90s rules, or are we going to play nowadays rules where you don't get touched? And if you do, cry about it. But it'd be, but the Golden State team was so good. They shot the ball so well. Steph Curry is just, it's incredible the way he can shoot the ball. But the game has changed so much. I don't even like trying to compare it because it's not. It's like it's not even the same game.
Yeah,
it's basketball, but it's not the same game.
Like those bad boy Pistons. If they were to play any team in the league right now, and they were allowed to play by those rules. I half those players would retire.
Exactly.
The man's rules?
When you got people coming down just swinging and not even going for the ball, it's, that one fight between the Pistons and the Celtics, 89, 88, when Lambier's just wailing at Kevin McHale, it's just, holy cow, what am I watching? It's like, wow, this is a full-out WWF brawl.
I would pay good money to see James Harden go to the rim on Mahorn and Lambier. I would love to see that.
Well, he'd
pull up and shoot a jumper.
Back then, man, there was this stay out of the lane rule. I'm trying to think of a couple fights during them Pistons Celtics days. Obviously, Robert Parrish sucker punched Lambier from behind.
Yes, he did.
I'm only calling it a sucker punch because it was from behind. I remember Brad Lohaus and Dennis Rodman got entangled at the Silverdome. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of pushing and shoving. To me, man, when I think about Golden State, like matched up against one of the teams from back then, particularly like Lambier, Rodman, and Mahorn, how easy would it be to take Draymond Green, to get in his head and get him out of his game?
Man.
He don't have no self-control.
Especially the way Rodman played. in everyone's head is an idiot and just diving everywhere, no regard for his body. Just it was the ultimate role player.
Draymond Green would need therapy for many, many weeks after Rodman got done with him.
Pistons Rodman. Well, either or.
Either one, yeah. I mean, he was just as good with the Bulls, too. So.
Do you remember the athlete Rodman was with Detroit?
Incredible.
Dick Versace, who was one of our assistant coaches back in '88 when we were still playing at the Silverdome, he said that at that time, if Dennis would have ran the 100 meters in the Olympics, he said there's nobody in this world would have beat him the way in practice, how fast he would get up and down the court, never got tired, and he could jump out of the gym. Averaged 18 rebounds a game last 2 years in Detroit, 2 defensive player years in Detroit. And he was good with the Bulls too.
Yes,
good with Bulls, not slighting the Bulls.
No,
but
he just got weird.
Popularity was bigger in Chicago, obviously. Mr. Pittman over here, but no, with Detroit, that's the Rodman I liked.
Yeah,
I liked him with Chicago too, but I liked the Detroit Rodman.
Just such an incredible athlete, and wasn't highly recruited coming out. Didn't go to college at first, grew some.
Yeah. Then he went to an NAIA school, Southeast Oklahoma State.
Yeah, and just blossomed, and still didn't score a lot, but he was just everywhere. And the tenacity defensively was just incredible.
No bigger motor in the history of the NBA than Dennis Rodman.
No.
That dude was all motor, all hustle. And thank you to Mr. Chuck Daly for molding that gentleman into the player that he became.
Yeah, well, we also got to thank Jack McCluskey, who was our general manager. Yes. He's the one that wanted him.
Trader Jack.
Trader Jack. Yep,
yes.
Trader Jack. God rest his soul. Yep, and Chuck Daly's soul too. Yes. But those were fun times, man. Now, what about Dr. J and his Sixer teams from like the early '80s? How good were they?
They're good. I love Dr. J. He was fun to watch, but
that was my dad's favorite player.
Yeah, but the game was different then as well. Those early 80s. It was amazing how different the game got in 10, 12 years, where maybe the early 80s was a little bit more like today. There wasn't as much touching or anything, but it wasn't a rule you couldn't do it. It just didn't really blossom until we're like, oh, yeah, we need to stop Michael Jordan, and that's when the things started going down. And then all of a sudden, the Knicks get Charles Oakley, who I think was that classic thug that you see on a hockey team. That was Charles Oakley. He couldn't play basketball. He was just there for a thug.
Yeah, I loved Oakley. Yeah, they traded him for Bill Cartwright.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So
you remember when Bill Cartwright and Isaiah got in a fight?
Yes, I do. I forgot about that till you said that. Yes.
And it was Mahorn and Lambier that broke it up because Lambier and John Sally grabbed Isaiah, and Mahorn grabbed Cartwright by the back of his jersey, just about choked him to death. Those were good times.
They were fun.
All right, Christian, last thing I want to get into here. Tell me about your involvement with Camp Starlight.
Camp Starlight. I've been my first true love, and it's almost like a second religion to me, is the game of baseball. I've been coaching high school baseball for about 23 years now. I started shortly out of high school in 1991 with an assistant varsity squad, and then blossomed my own team. And I took a few years off when I was working in hotels, and then got back into it, about 12 years ago. And this past, right about this time last year, maybe a little bit earlier, I saw this posting for this camp out in Pennsylvania. They wanted a head of baseball. So I contacted them, said what I could do, and it was different than what I thought it was going to be, but I absolutely fell in love with it. There's 500 kids at this camp, and we had anything from flag football, baseball, basketball, gymnastics, broadcasting like this, you name it, arts and craft, culinary prep for these kids. And they spend the summer there learning everything they can. And I ran the baseball program for about 250 boys. It was just an eye-opening experience. It was a long 2 months, 2.5 months or so. I was away from my family. I lived there by myself. COVID, my wife couldn't come visit me at all, but I absolutely loved it. It was, I got to wear my baseball pants every single day for 2 months, and it was just, it worked pretty much 7 days a week, had a day off here every now and then, And it was 8 hours a day of just baseball, teaching kids baseball. We played some games, played some camps from other counties. This county in Pennsylvania has 32 of these summer camps.
32.
And I guess these camps are huge on the East Coast. I didn't know it. I mean, I went to sports camps growing up, and this wasn't necessarily a sports camp. It was more of a camp like you see in the movies.
Yeah.
These kids go away for 7 weeks, and the parents say, see ya. And they get fed, and, you know, so I'm like, wow, I wish I had the money to do that for my kids. But I absolutely fell in love with it. It was one of the best experiences of my life, and I can't wait to do it again. It is tremendously fun. I just loved it.
So basically, it's a overnight camp, summer camp for kids that want to get involved or that are involved in sports, for them to get involved in a number of sports.
Number of activities, boating, water skiing, swimming. You know, like I said, with arts and crafts, dancing. Which is huge with the female part of it, but the sports broadcasting. They had musical equipment for kids that be in band. Like I said, baseball, softball, basketball, boys and girls, tennis. It's just incredible, all the activities that we have. And it's just fun. The kids loved it. They love being with, because these are their friends that they meet that aren't going to school with them. So they have just a blast with and the kids were all great. The staff was wonderful to work with, and just had an absolutely wonderful time. I would recommend it for anybody who can afford it. It's expensive, obviously. I think it's almost $13,000 to send your kid away.
$13,000 for the summer?
Yes. Ooh. But when you think about it, they're getting fed 3 meals a day. They're going on activities. It is expensive. It's very expensive, but these people can afford it. So, and if you can afford it, I'd say send your kids to it in a heartbeat, because it was a wonderful experience for me, and like I said, I can't wait to do it again.
Are there any kind of grants or scholarships or any kind of financial aid for some people that maybe can't fully afford it, but you still want to take advantage of the camp?
There are, but most of the people who are coming are financially available to do that.
Okay.
Now, the nice thing about this camp, David and Allison Miller, who run the camp, they also have a foundation where they have this virtual camp where they have inner city kids who are able to be campers, live the camp lifestyle, but from their home. A lot of them are inner city Los Angeles, inner city New York, where they get online once or twice a week and they do camp things.
Okay.
And one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life is stand in front of a camera looking at a screen of 50 kids and teach them how to throw a baseball.
Wow.
Without being able to touch them, and so it was hard, but it was so satisfying because the kids were just loving it, because it was a different type of kid than what we had at camp, and it was, like I said, just incredible. So,
so you're a Zoom certified baseball coach.
Yes.
All right.
Never thought I'd do that.
Okay, now that we're on baseball, I got a baseball question.
Yes.
Last summer, my nephew, I'm teaching him from the ground up how to play baseball, how to, field a ground ball, just basic shit.
Yeah.
Now, last summer he was 10 years old. For a kid who's never fielded a ground ball before, his side-to-side lateral movement was pretty damn good. And the way that he was, fielding his ground balls, and he looked like he'd been doing it for like 5 years. Mm-hmm. So he's been pretty easy to coach, but there's only one thing that I'm having trouble with. Mm-hmm. And you think what I just said about him knowing how to field a ground ball and how smooth he looks, I mean, it's almost like Jeter-like.
Uh-huh.
But when we play catch, we could be like from here to where they are right there. And he just has a hard time catching it. Like I had to put a mask on him because, he gets hit in the face or whatever.
Oh, no.
So what kind of advice could you give? Because that's like the only thing I'm having a problem with. Like teaching him the nuances and fundamentals of baseball. I mean, I'm not Sparky Anderson or nothing like that, but I could teach him basics, fundamentals and stuff. Because to me, like you said earlier, how all the coaching is in practice, reps. The more reps you get, the better it is. You become accustomed to it. But I can't. It's hard to, because at first I've tried different things. I tried to get like this close apart, where I'm just kind of lobbing it to him, and he can kind of catch that. He's just scared of the ball. Like he uses his whole body to catch it.
I would start with a wiffle ball Move to a tennis ball, something to build confidence, and don't use a glove.
Okay.
Just barehand it. That way you build confidence, and that way when he puts a glove on, and it might be stiff or something, it just becomes easier. Oh, I can do this. I can do it. He gets used to using 2 hands, catching with 2 hands. But I would start with something that's easy to catch. Definitely. That, just to build, because if he doesn't get in the face, then it's not going to hurt.
Right.
Yeah, just build confidence.
I just feel bad for him because he got hit the last time we played catch. He got hit in the eye, and obviously you know how that feels.
Oh, it's devastating. Yeah, definitely.
I felt like the scum of the earth, even though it wasn't really my fault. But but everything else, he catches on pretty good. His hitting, his hand-eye coordination, basically. Because if you were born with, it's hard to coach hand-eye coordination.
You either have quick hands or you don't.
But he has the hand-eye coordination. But I just trying to just little shit because when you step on a baseball field or softball field or whatever, you'll stretch out a little bit. But the first thing you do, just kind of do that. You just kind of just throw the ball around and just to get loose. And it's hard to get loose with him because I keep hitting him in the face, man.
It's a confidence thing. That's what it is.
Tennis ball sounds good. I think I'm gonna do the tennis ball thing.
Start little and work your way up to that ball. Don't throw them in the deep end.
That's how I was.
Glove and a ball.
That's how I learned was with the tennis ball. Yes. I used to be afraid of the ball. I'd always get hit in the head, and I broke countless pairs of glasses getting freaking smacked by a ball. But, we started out, me and my grandpa, he taught me how to play catch. Started out with a wiffle ball and then jumped up to a golf ball, a tennis ball, and then a soft baseball, and then started throwing MLB balls, and now I can catch a ball.
Speaking of tennis ball, another good drill that a tennis ball could be good for is dribbling.
Yep.
If you're in here by yourself and there's no chairs and tables in here, you dribble that tennis ball around.
Yes.
It's not easy to do, but you kind of get the feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the weeks and months go by, when you feel comfortable dribbling it, now try to dribble it between your legs a little bit. And after a couple years of dribbling that tennis ball, that basketball will feel like a beach ball.
And not to mention, you build that arm strength going down because you have to dribble the tennis ball hard.
Yeah.
Same thing you have to do for basketball. So.
Yeah. So, they get that down, and they'll be dribbling like World Be Free.
Yes. There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah. I would, if we were talking for 6 hours, I would surprise you with some of my old school stuff that I know. But
I love
it.
All right, Christian, well, we're going to let you get out of here. We really appreciate you being on the show today.
A wonderful time.
It was very nice meeting you.
Much.
We'll have you back on the show.
We'll have you back on in studio.
Probably in our office, in our studio.
In studio.
That sounds wonderful. I love it. Yes.
Yep. Okay. And we'll be listening next week. You're going to be back on the radio next week?
We'll be back on the radio next week.
Yeah.
This week, I think the Rona was running through the office, so we decided to cancel the show. So,
Gotcha.
Good move.
All right. Everybody, Mr. Christian Selich.
Zelig.
Still said it wrong. God damn.
You're closer. So that's
Selich.
good. Yes. Good. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Christian.
It's a good interview.
We're not done. We're still live, brother.
Okay.
Ray like it's taking sense all the time. Come on in here, man.
What's up, Austin? I talked to you on the phone. Yeah, that was me that talked to you on the phone.
It's me in person.
Yeah.
All right, now we got the pleasure of being joined by kind of a local legend around here in Millington. High school basketball star, Mr. Austin LeVan. How you doing today, Austin?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Very nice to meet you.
Did he pronounce your name right?
LeVan,
Yeah.
LeVan. That almost sounds like Zach LeVine.
Yeah.
Almost, kind of.
LeVan.
Every time I made a player on NBA 2K, it always autocorrected to LeVine.
So you're obviously a lot younger than Coach that we had here.
Yeah.
If it's not a personal question, how old are you?
24.
24. You still play?
No, I dropped out after 2 years. I went to Rockhurst.
Scoot up to the mic, Austin. A little closer to the mic. Yep.
Went out to play in Kansas City. Played at Rockhurst University out there.
Okay.
They were a Division II school from the GLVC. And then went and played at SVSU for a year. Didn't really pan out. So after that, I kind of just cut ties with basketball and said, I want to go make money.
Okay. Now,
That's cool.
Austin just stole my thunder because those are my questions I was going to ask him later about Rockhurst and SVSU. So,
now, you born and raised in Millington?
Yes. Yep. My mom and dad both were here in Millington. Met high school graduates in '93, I believe, and then I was here my whole life.
When was the first time that you can remember? When was the first time you had a ball in your hand and,
My dad played men's league up in Millington, and I was probably 4 or 5 years old. Go up there and have daddy's little shooter shirt on and stuff, and be up there rooting him on. But ever since, I played all sports growing up, and then once I got to high school, I played just football and basketball, and I just had a love for basketball to where it was just uncanny.
Is your dad a Millington guy too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
He probably played in those Red Hackers I was talking about earlier, back in the mid-'90s, 3-on-3 tournaments
Yeah.
out here.
Oh, yeah.
It was called there's the Gus Macker that everybody knows, and then I remember in Lansing, Millington, and Pigeon. There was the Red Hacker.
Yeah.
Red Hacker.
Yeah. I'm positive your dad played in a lot of those, man.
So you played for your dad at Millington.
Yep.
Your dad was your coach. Tell us
cool.
Tell us how that went.
We had a lot of great memories. We've also had our bad memories of him being my coach, and we had to separate that father, son, and dad and coach differences and stuff and whatnot. But it was good. I loved it. That's my boy over there, and when he gets up to that age, I want to coach him all the way up through, just like what my dad did with me, starting out at a young age, and then just all the way up through. Once he's done, if we have another one, that's a boy, coach him as well. But
hey, girls play basketball too, man.
I'll coach girls basketball.
There's a WNBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I can see the challenges of that sometimes. You see it. We've seen it in movies and TV shows and things like that where players play for their father, and there's that line that you have to kind of balance sometimes of being like, am I your son or am I your player, right? Are you my dad or my coach? And you can be both, but you got to know when to step back and forth across that line, right?
Oh yeah.
And did you ever come into any situations where like you were favoritism from other players or from outside sources or anything like that because you were playing for your dad?
No, my freshman year was the hardest time, obviously, because that's when I had to assert myself and prove that I belonged on varsity, playing 4 years. I was one of the better players coming up from 7th and 8th grade. I'd go to all the varsity practices, hang out with the guys and whatnot. But my freshman year, there was a couple kids that would say, "You're only up here because your dad's a coach, and then we just play, pretty much. Just I'd say, play me for your spot, let's play ball, and if you can beat me, you can take the spot. It's fine with me."
Okay.
So you got to have, to get places, to get to the next level and stuff like that, you got to have a little bit of that assertiveness, that cocky attitude that, hey, let's just play ball. You versus me, let's play ball.
I've played some sports when I was a young man where the father was the coach and his kid was on the team. I never had an issue with a father being a coach. Like my focus should be on, what can we do to get better? What can I, if I'm watching film, if I'm doing this wrong, what can I do to improve that? If I look at it as, oh yeah, his father's on the team, that's why he gets all the, that's just crybaby shit. That sounds like a crybaby thing.
Oh yeah.
What can you do to get better? While you're doing all this whining and crying, and I'm the, coach of a son, our other teammate, him over there, he's shooting 500 free throws in the gym right now while you're complaining about me. So that's just anybody who criticizes that, to me, sounds like a crybaby. And those kids wouldn't play on my team.
Yeah, we had, nobody ever really was too, hateful on it or disrespected it at all like that. Because ever since my freshman year all the way up through high school, we all wanted just to win. We were a big football town, still are. Everybody loves football around here. But my main goal playing my freshman year was, let's get the crowd bigger. I want to pack this arena. I want to pack all the stadiums and stuff like that. I want people to fan around basketball like they do for football. Yep. And we end up, my sophomore, junior, senior year, we just improved every year. We had Sean Pardee come over from Lakeville, who was an outstanding basketball player, and he helped grow that as well. Same with Wyatt and all of them. We had that dynamic of, we all just grew up together, loved to play ball, just want to win, want to let the fans have fun watching us.
What position did you play? Were you a two-guard? You look like a two-guard to me.
Yeah, I played in high school. I kind of just played whatever my dad really needed me to. Once I went to college, I ended up playing just a shooting guard. Which pretty much was my position.
Did you pattern your game after any professional player, any college player that you grew up watching? Or
I loved Ray Allen.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's a good one.
I like that. Ray Allen's one of my low-key favorite players of all time.
Nobody
a lot of respect for Ray Allen. The dude is just a shooter.
He was, but in his beginning of his career, he was a freak athlete. Yeah. That dude would dunk on anybody, and he was just, I loved his game. Loved it. Speaking
of dunking, you're quoted from back in the day as saying when you got to your freshman year of high school, you just wanted to dunk.
Yeah.
You just want to be able to dunk.
Yeah.
So once you accomplished that, right? I'm assuming you did that your freshman year, right? You accomplished the dunk.
First time dunking was going into my 8th grade year, and then I tried dunking in a game at school at 8th grade, and that didn't happen. But AAU, I dunked in my first game in 8th grade.
Okay. So once you mastered the dunk, when did you start working on other parts of your game, and did you appreciate those parts more of the game than just being able to dunk?
I started working on shooting a lot in college. I wasn't a great shooter in high school, but I had that college.
Your stats would say otherwise, but
I mean, I shot a lot. I shot a lot of threes my freshman year, and then that kind of ruined my percentage. But dunking is just, when you dunk, the crowd just goes crazy. I mean, especially in a town like this, they don't see many people dunk.
Yeah.
So that was the main reason why I was like, all right, I want to, like I said, crowds, big crowds, I love it. It's awesome. Bring everybody out. And then once we get a dunk, we had alley-oop. We had a couple people dunk my junior year and stuff, and it was like the crowd just loved it. I was like, there we go.
I like what he just said there. You could tell he's a legitimate ball player. I like what he just said. You ever hear people say, well, it's only worth 2 points, you know. What's the difference between a layup and a dunk? Yeah, it is 2 points, but it could get the crowd involved. It could get your team involved, you know, get everybody hyped.
some momentum swinger.
Yeah. That's you don't hear too many young fellas say something like that. But yeah, I agree with that, man. If I had a breakaway, you know, when I was younger, not now, obviously, but no, I'm throwing it down. I ain't laying it in. I'm throwing it down, or I'm gonna try to.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, definitely a crowd pleaser. Just like a block shot, man. Like I have a friend that complains that somebody will block a shot and throw the ball in the stands, whatever. What's the sense of doing that? You just put a finger on it and get there. Shut up, man. And he's this tall. You ain't never blocked no shots before, man. You just sit there watching. That can get, like a dunk, can get your team going, you know,
so,
and
like you said, it's
adrenaline.
a major momentum swinger. You get a big play like that, block when you hit it out and it goes into the stands or something. You just sitting there, yeah, everybody loves it.
Yeah. Do you like any old school players? Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Isaiah? Like any old school guys?
Yeah, I always liked, obviously, Michael Jordan. I mean, you always try to, if you're a 2-guard or 3-guard, point guard, whatever, you try to patent everybody. Even in one position, everybody tries to patent.
Yeah, two guards. There's Michael Jordan, and I don't even know who's second place. But yeah, 2 guards, there ain't no question who the best 2-guard is.
I think Kobe is going to give Jordan a fight. I'd put Kobe. It's like Kobe Jordan, Jordan Kobe, Kobe Jordan. I'm a major Kobe guy. The deciding factor for me when it's judging between those particular two is I try to word my words carefully when I'm talking about somebody that's deceased. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. Because I don't disrespect the deceased down here, but what Kobe was doing, we've seen that before. Okay, yeah, Michael. Yeah, from Michael. Yeah,
and Michael did it better.
Yes.
Not saying a lot better than Kobe, but we already seen that, and Mike did it a little better.
Yeah,
that's how I determine those two when I'm comparing those two guys.
Oh yeah. I think once you talk about those two, it's just like who you favor more. I mean, because they're 1 and 2 in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you can throw Bill Russell up there for having all the rings and whatnot, and you can throw LeBron in there for what he's done.
Oh, we're talking all time.
Just 2 guys. We're just talking.
I thought we were talking
guys.
2 guys. You're talking all time players.
2 guys.
Oh, okay.
Staying at 2 guys. Yeah, 2 guys.
My thinking is the same as Ray. So Kobe modeled this game after Jordan. So it's like you got the teacher and the student. The student never really took that step to be greater than the teacher, right? He modeled his game after Jordan. Jordan was his mentor. Jordan helped him, learn the game. He did a lot of things similar to Michael Jordan, even the turnaround jumper that they did.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's in my mind. Kobe, second greatest 2-guard, but he'll never be better than Jordan. He never did it better than Jordan.
And I'm only saying that he's the second best 2-guard. I didn't see Jerry West play or Elgin Baylor.
Oh yeah.
I wish that I would have.
Yeah, you go off the stats.
I usually when I say like all time players, I try to go like in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Because I can't say of all time if I didn't see like Bill Russell, Wilt, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson. I mean, I wish I would have seen them play, but as far as my lifetime goes, yeah, Mike and Kobe are definitely 1 and 2 as far as two guards.
Yeah.
So who is your GOAT, Austin? All-time GOAT?
I just because like what we just said, I got to see Kobe play a lot more than Jordan. I mean, I got to watch him a little bit when he came back for the Wizards and stuff, but I really didn't get to see him in the 90s when he was winning all of them championships. So I would go with Kobe.
All time, all players, all time. We're talking about all-time GOAT.
Yeah.
All positions.
Yeah, I mean, dominant, like all-time most dominant player, no, but the greatest at everything you can have. Like if I want to build somebody around a team, it's going to be Kobe. I want to build my team around Kobe.
Okay, that's interesting. Interesting.
That is interesting.
You got a top 5?
I got like a not a top 5, but I can name point guard, shooting guard, small forward.
No,
my starting
regardless of position, top 5 players all time in the mind of
he's
Austin.
just talking about basketball players, period.
Positionless.
You can name 5 centers if you
disregard
want
positions.
to. Yeah,
I
anybody.
mean, Shaq, Kobe, not in order, not in any order. Shaq, Kobe, Jordan, Magic. I mean, I would probably personally put Tim Duncan in there.
Nothing wrong with that.
Tim
Good
Duncan
choice.
is-
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. So do you tend to favor old school players or newer school players?
Old school.
Old school?
Yeah.
So you're more like, Bad Boys Pistons, Bulls,
I wouldn't go, not
Lakers.
that old school.
Not that old school.
Like early.
So you're kind of in the early. It's like it could be Kobe, like the Kobe Shaq, Kobe Gasol Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay. Duncan and
Ginobili,
Robinson,
Parker and all them. Robinson,
Spurs teams.
Yeah, Robinson, obviously, that's kind of like what you were talking about with the teacher from the student thing. I think Duncan learned a lot from Robinson.
Yeah,
So.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but Duncan was a lot better fundamental basketball player than David Robinson was. Davidson Robinson was tall, powerful,
Better athlete, though.
better athlete.
Way better
Yeah,
athlete.
yeah.
way better
But
athlete.
fundamentals, that hence its nickname.
Yeah,
that dude could.
Mr. Fundamental, yeah.
That dude had the post moves. He could shoot. He's just that off the glass shot was just unstoppable.
You got post moves down low?
No.
What's your best trait when you're on the court? What's your best trait? Like, what do you do well?
I've always liked getting my team involved. I mean, I was always, in my opinion, I felt like my teammates would somewhat agree with me on it, but I felt like I always wanted, instead of going out there and scoring 40, 50 points, I mean, I could have scored, I think, a lot more in high school, could have took more shots and whatnot, but I always liked getting my team involved. I like seeing
sacrifice for the
12th
better of the
guy.
team.
Yeah, like seeing the 12th guy on the bench come out and score. Junior year, we were really good and beat a lot of teams by a lot, so everybody got to play. And instead of staying out there, we would like to get everybody involved and say, hey, let's let everybody have fun.
What's a game, like, whether it's high school or college? What's the one game that sticks in your mind even today that you wish you had that game back? Like, I wish we could play them again. Maybe like a close game you might have lost by a point or two. Or maybe like somebody beat you that had no business beating you. What's a game you wish you could play tomorrow? I wish you could go back to being like 16, 17, or 18, play these bums again.
Probably my junior year against Montrose, where we were 19-0. Played them last game of the season, lost.
Ooh.
They had a stacked team, though. They had Malik Taylor, who now plays for the Green Bay Packers, and he was a stud athlete. And then they had Jimmy Hodges and Antonio McMillan. I don't remember the quarterback's name, but he was a really good, confident point guard as well, guard. It was a good game. I mean, it wasn't like one that was like, hey, we're going to beat them or they're going to beat us by a lot. It was just pretty much a toss-up. We knew they were a lot more athletic.
What was the final score? How much did you lose by? Was it
I think
close?
they beat us by double digits. No.
Double digits? Okay.
Yeah, I think they beat us by double digits. We went in there and it was very – Millington doesn't really play athletes like that. I mean, yeah, on the football field, everybody's country strong and farm boys throughout this whole conference that we're in.
Yep.
Basketball, when we got up there, we knew that we were going to get good. My dad started scheduling tougher games for us. I mean, in the summer leagues, we went and played out in like Detroit, Saginaw, Flint. We played all of the big-time schools. And we knew they were going to be a really good team that year, especially for Class C. That was our first year in Class C. So we wanted to play them end of the season, kind of get some momentum, and then they just took all the momentum. They just beat us.
What, did your dad coach your AAU team too?
Nope. I played for triple threat out in Lansing. We went out there, played for a couple other like local AAU teams, and then once we started realizing that I was going to be trying to pursue basketball a lot more, we were like, we got to go south. We got to get into the Detroit, Lansing area.
Dan, that's how you know who the real ball players are. When you got that AAU background, that's how you get better.
Yeah.
Like he said, going to Detroit, going to Saginaw, Flint, Lansing, Pontiac, whatever.
Well, it's just like Christian was saying. You got to practice, or you got to play against tougher opponents, right? You got to play up, right?
Yep.
To get better. You got to play up to get better.
You still play? Recreational ball anywhere? Open
No,
gym?
I really have. I played men's league a couple years ago, but kind of like when you have something take the love away from the game, you kind of just fall back away from it a little bit. I starting to watch basketball a little bit more and stuff and whatnot. Especially with my kid coming up, I want him to play sports. Obviously, I'm not going to force him on to do anything like that, but if he wants to, I want to be able to still beat him in one-on-one until I die. But
yeah, that's the way it should be. Because if he beats you, that means that he legitimately beat you someday, right?
He asserts his
That's the way
dominance.
it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Now look, Millington area. I'm not familiar with the Millington area. When you was younger, where did you go play at? Like at the playgrounds? Where's the hot spot playground around here?
when I was coming up, nowhere. I mean,
Where did you
had
play?
to go to Davison or something?
No, I was in the gym by myself.
Oh, you just went to the gym.
Like
Yeah,
you
that's
and your friends didn't have pickup games anywhere? Where was the local pickup game? Where'd you have to go to get on a pickup game? Did you have to travel to Flint or like Lapeer or go up north? Or like what?
No, I was more of a just work on my game myself. I mean, my dad was always in there with me, and he'd obviously helped me out a lot, but never really went and played pickup nowhere. AAU obviously was completely different, but no, never went and played pickup basketball anywhere. Never just been like, hey, roll the ball out there. Let's get 10 guys. I'll get all my buddies. No.
That's surprising me because when we were in high school, that was that was what we did on the weekends or after school. Like, where's the pickup game at? Is it at the park? Is someone going to open a gym? Do we have access to this elementary school gym or this athletic center or whatever? And
Yeah, and that's what my dad says too. He said that's how it was here, even in the early mid-'90s or whatever, mid-'90s, early '90s. They would go up to St. Paul's school up there, and they have courts in the parking lot. I mean, they're not legit courts, but they got hoops, and they would just go out there and run, and they'd go up to the high school and run up there. But yeah, we never really got into any of that. I think it really started like technology and stuff taking over, and then everybody just wanted to stay at home and play video games rather than go play ball or something.
Some of the funnest times I had, me and my buddies in high school, we used to go to this place called Tropical Falls. Remember Southmore on Door Highway?
That's where I fought your buddy at.
They had these sport courts, right, where you could lower the rim down, right? So they had the sport court. You could lower the rim down to 9 foot. We'd play pickup games on 9-foot rims, man. We felt like NBA players. We were like dunking the ball, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It was good times, man. Good times.
Now, okay, I encourage shout outs on here, man. Who were some of your better teammates, man? High school or whatever, man. Who were some guys that were really good, man? Some teammates of yours.
Excuse me.
No plug on here.
Really, my whole team's going up throughout high school. Loved all the guys. I still hang out with them to this day. I mean, that's what I was talking about with having that friendship bond and all that. College, when I went out to Kansas City, my buddy J-Rob out there, he was from Florida, played a couple years JUCO, and then he was on his senior year there when I was a freshman. And he really kind of took me under his wing.
Okay, good.
Saginaw is kind of more just my hometown crowd again. That's why I moved back. I was kind of just missing the hometown. Yeah. And then for basketball purposes, that was probably not the greatest idea because I didn't play much at SVSU when I went from playing a lot at Rockhurst and then over here just missing home and whatnot. But for teammates and stuff, I don't want to because I might forget one person. I don't want to do that from hometown because we were all just that close. I mean, that's how all of our teams were.
They know who they are.
Yeah, we all grew up with each other and whatnot, and it was just a bond that still is there.
Yeah, I have a bond like that also with guys I played sports with. But I've had a lot of them on our show here that even Dan is friends with them now. You know what I'm saying? We've developed relationships with them over the years, man. But That's what sports is, man. It ain't, it ain't just playing games and all that, man. It's that camaraderie, brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys will be 65 years old. You guys will meet up here, sitting at a table, talking old stories. That's what sports is supposed to be about, man. And
we wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for the bonds and connections that Ray made when he was playing high school football.
Yeah. It's all about the memories, like you said, the connections with all the guys and stuff, and females too. And you make great memories with everybody. It doesn't have to be a guy to go out there and help you work on your game in the gym or anything like that. Are
you going to follow in your dad's footsteps? You going to coach your son over there when he gets older?
That's the goal. Hopefully. I hope he wants to play. If not, I won't force it upon him, but if he wants to play the flute, I will learn how to play the flute and try to coach him up best I can in that.
That's a good dad right there. That's a good dad. Now Christian let us in on a little secret when we were talking about some stuff. You were part of a game. The final score was 101-11.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about what. Obviously, you were on the 101 side of things, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us about that game. What's going through your mind? What did you guys think after? What it felt like to hold a team to beat a team down like that?
Before you answer that, say what you're thinking about. Don't be politically correct. Talk about how you dominated these people. You don't got a dog, not by names. You don't got to be throwing names out.
So
keep it real here. Tell us about that game, how you just blew them out.
Don't be humble. Let it
be
all
humble.
Fly.
Talk about how you blew them out.
We had, going into the game, we only had 7 guys. We had 2 ineligible and I think 2 hurt. So we only had 7 guys. Or we had 1 ineligible, 1 hurt. We only had 9 guys total. So going into the game, we knew, hey, we're going to have to play our 3 starters, the whole game. We can't take a whole starting 5 out of this. We can't do it. And when you're in high school, you just want to play and stuff. And it was against Sean Pardee's old school. So he's like, yeah, let's get at him. So we're playing the whole time, and it just my dad's like, hey, we're up a lot. And we're like, no, we just want to keep playing. We didn't press them. But as soon as they got past half court, we were like, yeah, let's get them. Let's get a steal. Let's get a dunk.
Who was the team that scored? What was the name of that school? Or who was the team that scored 11?
Lakeville.
Yeah. Now, was it the case where you were just playing that good, or were they just that bad?
It was. They had one real good ball player. His name was Harley. He was a real good ball player. I don't remember his last name, but really, besides him, they didn't really have much. And you could tell at the halftime. I mean, there was times where they would cross the court, we'd double team them, and the guy would just give us the ball. So it's like, what are we not supposed to steal it? What do you want us to do here? So that was a tough situation. I know my dad caught a lot of heat from it, but I mean, we were high school kids. I seen the other day there was a team that got blown out, and everybody's crying about it and stuff. It's like, in other states, it's goes by point differential. Michigan, I don't think, does that unless they change.
Yeah.
But if you can beat a team by 80-some points and extend your point differential, why not do it? Because that helps you get in the playoffs. It helps with seeding.
Yeah. There's a big difference between running up the score and just dominating someone, right? If you're just playing basketball, you're just playing your game and you're winning by that score, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, right? Because it gives you confidence, plus it should teach the other team a lesson, hey, we just got our ass kicked. What do we have to do to get better, right? Without those defeats, nobody gets better. But there's a difference between that and purposely running up the score to make a point or to drive something home or whatever. But
if you're pressing a team full court when you're up 70-some points,
right?
That's a little harsh.
Yeah.
Or run it up on them. Run it up on them. Who cares?
I mean,
run it up on them.
I agree with the whole. If you don't like it, then don't play him. You got to get better somehow. We're gonna beat you, so don't let us beat you that bad.
That's like you said, right? He was crossing half court and pretty much literally just giving him the ball, right? He would turn it over. What am I supposed to do? Not run down and dunk the ball, right? What am I supposed to do? Want me to run around and kill the clock? What do you want? It's not like they're, like you said, it's not like they're pressing on full court, right? They're hanging back half court. Once you cross half court, you're fair game. The guy hands you the ball. What are you supposed to do with it? Right? You play ball.
Oh yeah. That was a tough situation.
What year was that? It was 6-7 years ago?
That was 2014.
Oh, okay. Didn't Pat Ferris, ain't he a Lakeville Maybe he's probably the one that coached the team. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I don't know.
We had a guy, I wasn't there. He interviewed a guy, good friend of ours, Rev Right Time, proud Lakeville guy. If he was here listening to what we're talking about now, he knowing him the way that we know. Oh no, that's not really happening. Well, what happened? Our guys were hurt, and Mother Day, we go to funeral, Dog Day. I mean, he would have been saying all that dumb shit. Like, hey, look, man. Ass whooping's an ass whooping.
Yeah, that's
right?
what it is. You got to take them. I mean, I've had plenty of them by other teams, but handed out a few of them too. But you get your ass whooped, you get your ass whooped. That's just what it is. You got to be able to take it.
Yeah, I don't care.
So, Austin, tell us about your favorite memory on the court, like a play, game-winning shot, or something like that. That during a game, what was that one play that you're like, man, you think about it all the time, or like your proudest moment on the court?
I got two. My high school one is my freshman year when I hit a game winner at the buzzer to beat Vassar. That was pretty awesome. That was cool. College was probably, I think I hit 8 threes. I had 27 total my freshman year at Rockhurst, and I was like, all right, my first game I had a really good game. I was like, all right, that's my good game. And then like the third, fourth game of the season, I had 27, and I was like, all right, that's my coming out party. And then I had 0 the next game, so I was like, that's not my coming out party.
Speaking of buzzer beaters, here's a fun fact that you guys might not have known. DeMar DeRozan plays for Chicago now, right?
Chicago, the Bulls, yeah.
You know how, like, people talk about, like, records that'll never be broken? Okay, like Wilt's 100-point game,
Yeah.
and just any sport. Okay, he did something that's never been done before in NBA history. He hit back-to-back game-winning buzzer beaters, and he did it in 2 different years. On New Year's Eve, 2021, and then the next day, on New Year's Day, he hit another buzzer beater.
Back-to-back nights, yeah.
It's kind of it's a weird stat. But
Yeah.
Oh, it's
really
all the
happened.
stats that SportsCenter throws out, though. They throw out those really weird stats.
Yeah.
What was
so
it like?
hard watching.
I'm having trouble remembering this, but I think it was 2 weeks ago, last week before, there was a player in the NBA that did something that no one had done in a very long time, and I'm forgetting what it was called, but I think it was named after a Piston, where a player plays 40 minutes. I think it's 40 minutes, 20 minutes, plays 40 minutes, and records 0 stats, absolutely 0 stats. Do you remember what that's called? It's named after a player. I can't remember.
Sounds to me, I would call that stat somebody that probably played for Lakeville High School. I don't know.
That's like one of those obscure stats that is like it hasn't come up in many years. And I believe this stat was named after a Piston because it was the last time it was done. A Piston did it.
Man,
That's crazy.
But he played a certain amount of
40 minutes and had 0
a
stats.
certain amount of minutes and records 0 stats.
That's
0
crazy.
stats.
Wow.
The only thing he did was a foul. Right, because a foul doesn't count as a
right,
stat, right?
right.
Yeah, but 0 points, no points.
Oh, that was Dre. Oh, no, Draymond didn't do that.
That was Dre. It was someone a couple weeks
1
ago.
minute. He got a foul, and that was it. Vegas lost their butts off on it.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a TikTok where these guys they bet money in Vegas that Draymond would score the first basket. He came in and he like got a tech and got kicked out or something in the first minute of the game and was done.
Yeah, that's harsh. That's tough.
Who's your favorite team, man? Warriors or
I
Lakers?
love watching the
Who's your favorite
Warriors
team?
play. Their basketball is awesome. They got that team game. So without Draymond, it's a lot tougher for me to watch. I love watching Draymond. He's a facilitator and just takes whatever sacrifices he does. He doesn't score 20 points, doesn't score 8 points, doesn't score. I mean, he'll literally go out there and have 4 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists every game. And it's awesome
Tough
to
as
watch.
nails, too.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how if Draymond Green and Dennis Rodman were able to go against each other in their primes, Draymond would get eaten alive.
Yeah. I love Draymond. I love watching him play. But, yeah, Dennis Rodman is different. That dude's just a different breed. You go out there and have 24 rebounds in a game, it's like, oh, my gosh. That 18-rebound game they showed on Fox the other day, I was like,
This puts in perspective how good of a rebounder Dennis was. Only Wilt Chamberlain has had more rebounding titles.
Yeah.
That puts in perspective on how good of a rebounder Dennis was.
Yeah. And he didn't even go to college
averaged
to play ball. Like, he got picked up walking to class by his coach in a JUCO. It's like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, first he played for, it was called Cook County Community College, and then he transferred to Southeast Oklahoma State. He was a scorer in college. He averaged like 22 points a game. Yeah. And he actually scored a little bit in Detroit. He even had a double off the bench, averaged double figures one year. It's points.
Yeah.
Off the bench.
Yeah, he's just, and that's the kind of guy you need on a team, though, is that energy booster. I mean, that's all he was, just straight energy out of there.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, man. So do you live here? Or you back living here? Or you just in town or what?
Nope, I live here. I work. My dad, he owns Keen Small Engines down the road here in Millington. And
do they got good pizza at that pizza joint across the street?
Cardinal Pizza?
Cardinal?
I don't know.
Millington Pizza? Yeah, they're good. They do really good for the community, too. They do a lot of, like, donations and stuff like that.
That's Cardinal Pizza right there, right across the street, right?
That's Millington Pizza. Cardinal Pizza is down the road.
The one crossing the car wash, right?
Yep.
That one is really good. Cardinal Pizza is really good.
I got another funny – I'm sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just while it's on my mind. You know, I'm getting in the beginning stages of dementia
I'm talking about pizza, damn it. Don't cut me off.
I know it. I'm sorry. But while it's fresh on my mind, I do have another Millington memory that I'd forgotten about. My ex-wife, when we first got together, it was like 2000, I played ball with a guy who lived in Millington. His name was Kip. He was an older gentleman. And when the season was over, he invited, everybody over for end of the year cookout, whatever. I don't remember what street it was on, but it was in Millington. But this was like one of our first dates, me and her, my ex-wife. And
thank you, sir.
Dan will know that this is a Ray move. Thank you. Dan will believe this story because he knows how I am. I didn't have that much gas in my car to get all the way out here. Millington is a far drive, man, from Flint.
Middle of nowhere.
I mean, farther than I thought. So, and I don't like to spend money. I will if I have to. I have money, first of all. I have money. I just don't like to spend it. Like, I'm one of those guys that if I have to put air in my tire, if they have an air pump right there that costs $1, but 5 miles down the road there's free air, I'll go where the free air is. That's how cheap I am. Yeah. But here's what happened with the Millington thing. On our way to Millington, I had to put some gas in the car. So I think I stopped in Otisville or somewhere. I don't remember. And I went in my ashtray and got the change out of my ashtray. And I put $1.87 in gas. Well, at that time, though, gas was like, might have been 99 cents a gallon. But I put $1.87 in gas and went to Millington and went back and ran out of gas on the way home. And I was mad about running out of gas. But I'm the dumbass that put $1.87 in change in the gas tank. That's another Millington memory I'd forgotten about.
Anyways,
I know Dan would believe that because he knows how I am.
Yes, I know that for sure. But back to pizza. Cardinal Pizza over here. They have really good pizza. They got this pizza called Donna's Special, I think. Donna's Doozy, I think it's called. You know what I'm talking about?
Is that this place right here?
No. Not Millington Pizza. Cardinal Pizza is down the road.
That way?
Yeah, it's about a mile, maybe a mile down the road.
Okay.
Yeah. They have this pizza. I think it's called Donna's Doozy or Donna's Special, where it's got sauerkraut and sausage on it.
Ugh.
You say that.
Terrible.
I don't like
say that.
I don't like sauerkraut.
No. I'm telling you. I'm gonna get a couple of these people that I know have eaten it. I said that the first time too. And I had it.
I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Put sauerkraut on their pizza.
So good. It's so good. It's so good. You have to try it.
No, don't listen to him, man.
No. That sounds disgusting.
It probably is.
I used to work. Ben and I used to work together right down the road here at ADS, right? Advanced Decorative Systems. We used to go in there all the time. I've had that pizza like 10 times.
I ain't getting cute with my pizza. I ain't putting no goddamn sauerkraut on there. Fuck all that. That's disgusting.
That sounds terrible.
I don't even like sauerkraut to begin with, much less on my pizza. That's like somebody that puts pineapple on their pizza.
Hey,
I love that too.
Yeah, pineapple on pizza is good. Like a Hawaiian pizza, and you get like ham, bacon, pineapple.
Okay, you like pineapple? You like pineapple on your
Absolutely.
pizza? Oh my God, you?
No.
Oh my God, Ryan.
Yes. It's so good, man. I always get that. Get a little bit Cajun crust on the side.
I'm gonna give you a free pass on that one because you never say dumb shit on here. So I'm gonna let you get away with that. But like when you're at work, like working at a job, you know how sometimes like if we're all working together, hey, we're gonna get pizza for lunch, pass the hat or whatever. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. What do you want on your pizza? She'll say pepperoni, mushroom. I'll take ham, mushroom. And then there's always that one dickhead. Not you. I'm not pointing at you.
I like how you saved me for the dickhead spot.
Pineapple. There'll be that one dumbass that says pineapple.
I don't ever say just pineapple. It's always like pineapple ham and bacon or pineapple mushroom bacon or something like that, right? Pineapple's not the main event on the pizza. The only good thing about that sauerkraut on the pizza, the only good thing is that trumps your LeBron, Scottie Pippen dumb shit earlier. that let you off the hook with that shit earlier. But I'll take a bite out of it. I ain't gonna knock it till I try, but I don't like sauerkraut. See, it's different. Like, have you had it raw or cooked?
Oh, no, I don't cook. I'll have to ask one of my exes. I asked them now. I cook
Like
for myself.
what? You've had like sauerkraut on like a bratwurst or a hot dog or something. Is that where you've had it?
Probably a bratwurst, at a carnival or something.
It's a lot more tame when you cook it. Like, one of my favorite dishes to cook at home is like sauerkraut and sauces. Like, get some Polish sausages, cut it up, put it in a pan with some sauerkraut. You drain the juice, fry it up. It's good, and it tastes a little different. It's a little more tame after you cook it.
That don't sound bad, but not on no pizza.
You throw that on a pizza?
Yeah, you're going too far now. All that sauerkraut shit.
Sounds terrible.
It's really good.
Who said that?
Sounds so bad.
Oh, I agree. So Cardinal Pizza is better than across the street?
He lives here, so it's like he's being careful what he says.
Okay, I won't. Okay, what about you, Dan? Okay, you ain't from here.
Good.
You had their pizza?
Yeah, I've had both. I think Cardinal Pizza is
Cardinal?
better. Yeah.
Sauerkraut. I didn't wake up this morning thinking that I was going to hear that a person literally put sauerkraut on their pizza.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know. But
people
no, man,
still
teach
ate
their own.
sauerkraut.
Teach their own. You know, I put mustard on everything, almost everything.
Don't tell me you put mustard on pizza.
Drizzle.
I don't put it on pizza.
Okay, all right. Don't ruin pizza. Do not ruin pizza.
Sauerkraut.
I don't know, that sauerkraut and sausage pizza, that might be good with a little bit of mustard drizzle on it.
Oh my god.
Have you guys had the? It was a thing going around a while on the internet where people were putting mustard on the watermelon. Have you guys tried that?
I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not bad, right?
No, I mean, it's a little tart, but I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I put mustard on my macaroni and cheese.
What is wrong with you?
That's good. That's good.
Where do you guys come? How do you guys have the time to come up with this shit?
You know
sauerkraut on pizza, and what was the other one? What did you just say? Mustard on what?
Mac and cheese.
You know what?
How do you guys think of that shit?
Hold on. I'm going to defend it for a second because I just remember this. I saw this video last week on the internet. This woman was making macaroni and cheese, and it was her special recipe, and she put a little bit of mustard in it when she was making this homemade mac and cheese. I don't know. What is it about mustard?
Remember yesterday on the phone when I talked to you on the phone for a couple minutes? Remember I said, I'm the cool one. Now you see why now. I'm the cool one. Fucking sour. Excuse me. I keep forgetting there's kids in here. I'm used to being in our office when there's nobody in there. I apologize for all the expletives here. But I'll take a bite one time if you ever have it at your house. I'll take a bite.
What, that sauerkraut pizza? Or mustard and the mac and cheese? What are you talking about?
What?
Which one are you taking a bite of? What are you talking
Mustard
about?
and mac and cheese? Where the hell did that come from?
Which one are you taking? Take a bite of what? What are you
sauerkraut on the pizza. I won't. You know me. I ain't gonna knock it till I tried it.
Well, shoot, we might have to go when we're done and get a pizza, and I'm gonna make you two try it. I'll buy the pizza if you guys try it.
Oh my good! What'd you say?
I said I will buy the pizza if you guys try it.
Oh my god! Whoa. Damn. Okay. Damn. I ain't never heard that. I've never heard him say, I'll buy. He don't know. Oh, my God. Okay. Shit, I'll go get some sauerkraut pizza and pineapple and mushroom, horse, whatever the hell you guys are talking about.
Oh, man, we just came off the rails with all this food talk. Let's get back to basketball. Well, back to sports at least. Austin, you follow any other sports?
NFL.
NFL?
Yep. Yeah, I follow them quite a bit.
Who you got this weekend?
Bucks and Rams. I love Stafford, but you can't bet against Brady. So, I mean,
yeah, but the Bucks are pretty banged up right now.
Yeah, they could get Fournette back, and
Fournette is paying. He was back in practice,
sure. Yeah.
but they still got Godwin out, so
Yeah,
they had a couple injuries on the offensive line.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard if Jansen's playing yet.
He's going to be a game time decision.
That'd be a big loss. Yeah. He's kind of like the heart and soul of that line, and pretty much that offense. Really, I mean, obviously Tom Brady is, but
yeah.
And then Packers and Niners.
So you're picking the Bucks.
Packers and Niners is tough because Packers' run defense is so awful, and the Niners can run off anybody.
Right.
Deebo Samuel's probably going to have 150 yards rushing. I would have to go with the Packers, though, just because they're in Lambeau. That's kind of tough to go against.
It feels like their year, doesn't it? Just the way they've been playing?
Yeah, you would think so, especially with everything that's happened with Rodgers. It'd kind of be like a essential, like how this whole season's been an FU moment to everybody. I mean, that's how he's kind of played this whole year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Bucks are just – I like the Bengals in the AFC. I like the Chiefs. Chiefs and Bills, that's going to be a great game.
Great game. All four of these games are going to be great games. So you got the Chiefs over the Bills.
Yeah.
Bengals over the Titans?
Yes, yeah. Derrick Henry comes back, and if he's healthy, that's tough because he's going to control a lot of the time of possession, obviously. They're going to run him into the ground.
Yeah, but that Cincinnati offense, man, is on fire.
Insane. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are just they've obviously had the connection since college, so they're just on a whole different level with everybody else.
Yeah.
I heard that Chris Evans had a decent game last week, or had a couple nice runs or whatever.
I mean, he's had a decent start to his career with the Bengals. He's played a little bit in a backup running back role.
Yeah.
He plays on special teams, returning kicks.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, he's not doing that bad. Yeah,
he was a good college player at Michigan. He wasn't like All-American material or nothing like that. But speaking of that, are you a Michigan or Michigan State guy?
Michigan State.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
That's wrong choice
Well,
of words.
we've agreed on everything to this point. But that's at least he likes one. At least he ain't like Rev, where he likes both.
Right. Yeah. At least you picked. At least you made a choice.
At the very least, at least
I like both. Yeah.
I was a Michigan fan up until I started like wanting to beat my dad at everything. He's a diehard Michigan fan, so I was like,
good for your dad.
I'm gonna beat State. And the best thing is, when I was in college at Rockhurst, we made a bet, and it went like viral on Twitter for a little while, or whatever. And it was the game where Michigan State blocked the punt.
No,
the trouble with the snap.
Muff punt, yeah.
The trouble with the snap.
And it was great. He had a picture on Twitter and stuff. Said, "My son's the best. I'll never lose to him. I'll never bet him again." Oh, it's awesome.
That punter,
like Sports Center and stuff.
That Blake O'Neal, that punter, he pitched the ball to whoever the guy was that ran it in, Jackson, whatever.
He was trying to just toss it, but he was getting turned around at the same time.
He pitched it to him, man. No one ever mentions that. He pitched it to him.
That was legit. That was a good play.
The funny thing is, that kid, I forget his name, the kid that scored that touchdown, that ended up recovering the ball and scoring the touchdown, he got hurt on that play.
Yeah.
That broke his hip or something.
He never played football again.
He did. Yeah, he had suffered a nasty injury.
What a way to go out, though. What a way to end your football career on a play like that.
Just on top. That's awesome.
Fuck him. Fuck him in his broken leg. I was at Madden's watching that game, man.
That was I was at my ex's house. It was my son's birthday that day. We just had a birthday party. We were having a birthday party for him, and that game happened. We had just got there, and we were watching the end of the game, and I was one of those people. Like, the famous picture you see, that kid with the glasses, like the what do they call it? Cobra? What do they call it?
They do that on purpose when they show people in the stands like that. Yeah. They always show like the most ridiculous looking person in the stands, and they show it because they know it's going to go viral and shit. And I guess that kid's gotten like paid. He did like appearances and shit, and he was at the ESPY Awards one time. Yeah, he looks so stupid. Look, he looks stupid, man. What an embarrassment.
So, Austin, you touched on it a little bit, your post high school basketball career. Mm-hmm. You ended up playing a little bit at Rockhurst and SVSU.
Yep.
Now, if you want to tell us. If not, we'll respect that, obviously. But like, what kind of things did you go through? What happened? To cut your college career short, and what advice, whatever that was, what advice would you give to like let's say your son is in that same position 18 years from now or 20 years from now, what advice are you going to give him about that situation that you went through?
Kind of the same advice I think my dad really gave me, being my coach and stuff. He just said, "You're not a quitter. Don't quit on the team. Don't quit during the season." Because I really wanted to be done like after the first half of the season. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing here no more," type thing. So I just tell him that same thing, like, "Hey, you're gonna stick it out, at least finish the season with your team and whatnot." What really made me stop playing was just coaching. I didn't really get along with the coaching system out there at SVSU. It was a lot different on my visit. Obviously, that's why I ended up deciding to go back there. I thought they were going to be a whole different type of program. But no, you can't. In the end, it's his decision. If he were to go through that thing, if he says, "Hey, I want to be done after one semester, 1 year," I'm going to say that's fine. If he wants to say, "I'm playing 4 years and 2-3 years, wants to go overseas," sucks for him being that far away, but yeah, go overseas, do whatever you want. Can't really, in my personal opinion, you can never, like I said about if he plays the flute, I would be his biggest coach in that sport. I'm not going to try to force him to do anything. I'll always try to guide him down the right line or what I think is correct. Kind of like what my dad did with me and my mom. But in the end, it's his decision. In the end, it was my decision to say, "All right, I'm done playing ball." I was lucky enough to come out of there with no debt for college. So then I was just like, all right, I want to go make money. I want to start a family. I want to do all that stuff. I want to move back home. And I did. Obviously accomplished all them goals with having a kid now. So
yeah, you beautiful baby boy over there.
Yeah, we got another one on the way too. So
oh, congratulations!
Thank you. It's gonna be a house full.
Yeah,
you got another one on the way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, how old is he? Because he looks like he's like my granddaughter's age.
He's 7 months.
Oh,
not 7 months. 8 months.
8 months? Okay.
I mean, it's months apart.
Mom's over there like, no, he's not that.
Yeah, and then the other one's due in like August, so they'll be close in age. We're hoping for another boy, and then hopefully kind of build like just keep going, have boys, build a basketball team.
Okay.
No, two is done. We're done after 2.
Well, like we told Coach earlier, man, we want to have you on the show again in Flint. If you don't mind coming to Flint on a Saturday morning in our studio, we got an office. Just be us in there, Bring your wife and your son.
Yeah. We can just shoot the shit about basketball or whatever else.
We'll eat some real pizza, Luigi's pizza. We'll eat some real pizza that day. Ain't gonna be no
sauerkraut.
No sauerkraut shit.
I'll bring some actual
real,
good Cardinals pizza,
normal toppings on there, normal human
sauerkraut.
toppings, and yeah.
We're not putting mustard on watermelon.
You ever heard of Luigi's Pizza in Flint?
Yeah, I think my buddy actually just got it last weekend.
Yeah.
Okay,
really good.
Yeah.
I always tell everybody this. It's like 9 or 10 years ago. There was two guys that traveled the whole state, Upper and Lower Peninsula. They went to all the pizza restaurants. It took them like 2 years to complete their journey. Mm-hmm. And they rated Luigi's as number 9 in the whole state on their list as far as who had the best pizza.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about them. My buddies work out there at Genesee County Road Commission. So they get out there once in a while and they're like, yeah, dude, you got to try this pizza. So we had it last weekend. It was pretty good.
So, Dan, I would say instead of buying pizza today, just go in half with me when we get the pizza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know when I'm going to get the
I'll
opportunity to feed the two of you sauerkraut and sausage.
You really
pizza.
want to do that today?
There is no way I'm eating sauerkraut pizza.
I'm not doing that either.
I'm not doing that.
Dan ain't telling you.
You're going to pass out free pizza? How about this? We
get half of it with sauerkraut. I'll eat the other normal half.
We go get a pizza, and if you don't like it, I pay for it. If you like it, then we split it.
No, that was your idea. I ain't splitting it with you. It was your idea. Oh, what the hell kind of deal is that?
I'm for real.
What kind of what is that?
I would just lie and say, no, I hate it, and then just
wrong with your colleague over here, man?
No, serious. No, that ass.
Hey, let's go eat pizza. You pay for it.
Yeah. Well, that's not what I said. That was more like a wager. But no, I'm serious. I'm going to buy pizza. If you want to go try this pizza, I will buy it. I promise you.
Is it worth trying sauerkraut pizza for him to pay for it?
No, because I'm not. Because if I don't eat it, he's going to be wasting his money.
There's got to be somebody in this room that's had this. Ben, come here, Ben. Ben, sit down.
You better be careful. Ben's going to give you an honest answer now.
Have you or have you not had the Donna's Doozy pizza from Cardinal Pizza? The sauerkraut and sausage pizza. Yeah. Isn't it good?
It is good. It is good. Right?
You going to believe him?
Who you're at? Benny's Beer Hall. I'll get up.
Sauerkraut? Yeah. Sauerkraut on the pizza. That's good?
It is. Actually, my favorite meal is sauerkraut sausage. So I'm kind of biased.
I would value your judgment over his, but I still ain't. I'm not trying. I ain't wasting.
If you're looking to go out there, I would get the Redbird.
That's good.
It's like this thick. It's so good.
That's not bad.
If
it ain't got the sauerkraut in it, does it?
No.
All right, well, Dan, order one of those, a Redbird.
No, I want you guys to try the sauerkraut pizza. It's so good. Because I thought the same thing as you guys did when I first, I like sauerkraut and sausage, but on a pizza? That's gross. Yeah. I had it, and I was like, I need more of this in my life.
Yeah, I'm in the boat of I don't even like sauerkraut. Like, sauerkraut's just nasty. So
not even on a bratwurst or a hot dog? Nothing?
It smells so bad. I've never even tried it, but it just smells so bad. It's not even.
Well, like I said, after you cook it, it's a lot tamer.
I've had it on like you said, a bratwurst, like at a carnival. I've had it, but like as far as like what we like I get on Dan all the time about that Coca-Cola looking beer he drinks. I always tell him to get a man's drink. What else did you have?
This is a man's beer instead of that see-through bullshit.
That drink you spilt on our table a couple weeks ago. What was that called?
It was a Starbucks coffee.
No, say the whole name.
It was a Starbucks double shot.
Yes.
It was a Starbucks double shot energy.
What man drinks that? What man drinks that, man? I don't trust you. I ain't doing no sour. Save your money. I ain't doing no sauerkraut pizza.
Scared.
You damn lying. All right, go wrap this up, Dan.
All right. Well, Austin, we appreciate you being with us today, man. We appreciate taking the time, bringing your wife?
Girlfriend right now.
Girlfriend right now?
Yep.
I'm sure that's about to change. Having a second kid.
And who's the pretty lady behind her?
That's my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my mom.
Mrs. LeVan.
Yep.
Do you know her? You know that girl right there? Oh, she's looking at me like she knows me or something.
No,
that's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend, Beck.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Like, wow, he's just really calling.
I was like, what is he doing right now? All right.
I don't know if you see it. One more thing, man. I don't know if you've seen it earlier, but she brought your boy over here, and he was looking at me with that big old grin. I said, hey, man. I said, take one of these glasses. I said, break it over his head and then cut him with it. He's like,
he's so smiling and kicking his leg.
Look, when he gets older, don't show him that clip, because I'm not promoting that. I only did it because he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
The first bar fight here is just my 8-month-old son just going to town.
Don't be giving the family name a bad name. All right, Austin. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. It was nice meeting you today.
And we will see you again, man. Maybe in the spring when it's nicer out, when it ain't so cold. We want you to come to the studio, man. And I will buy some normal people's Luigi pizza. There ain't be none of that cute. I don't get cute with the pizza. We're going to eat normal. Whatever toppings you want, I don't care. Anything you want.
That sounds good to me. I had a great time.
Bring your family, too. Bring your mom. That's your mother?
Yeah, that's
bring
my mom.
Bring your mother, your girlfriend, and bring your son.
Yeah,
okay?
They'll probably be with me. They're big supporters.
Yeah, we got comfortable chairs, for them to sit in.
Okay.
Like at the office.
Yeah, we got room in the studio.
Yep.
All right.
Anyways, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
We want to thank everybody else for tuning in today, doing a special episode with us. Live from Benny's Beer Hall. We're really, really great place. We're so glad.
See, he can't wait to get away from you.
Anyway, really great spot here, Benny's Beer Hall. We're really glad we partnered up with Ben. So proud of what he's accomplished here, and the bar looks great. If you haven't been out here yet, make sure you get out here. Benny's Beer Hall, 8507 State Road in downtown Millington. He's got a lot of great beers on tap. Normally has a food truck here for a lot of great food. I was here the opening night. They had, I'm going to blank. I should have remembered the name of it, but I had this thing called the Godzilla dog. It was so good. It was a hot dog with Korean barbecue on it, and it was really good, really good. But make sure you get out here, check out Benny's Beer Hall in downtown Millington. And for Ray, Ascencio, myself, Mr. Ryan, and even little Danny over there. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
Moving forward.